Hi everyone, so today I want to show you this card, which is a 5x7 diagonal gatefold card. Now I've seen similar things to this, but not with this edge on. So this one I saw on Lisa Curcio's YouTube channel and I really liked it. I've resized it so hers wasn't a 5x7. So I've done my own measurements for it, but yeah, I just like the design of it. So the papers I've used on this is my own digital kit and it's called Wise Men. And it's available now in my Etsy shop, so go and check that out. So you've got these cute little wise men and kings, and then there's also star paper. There's quite a few other papers as well. Obviously there's 12 pieces in the kit. This was just from my stash. I've used a ribbon on the side here, and then when you open it up you've obviously got space to write, and the whole thing stands up nicely. As long as you don't use flimsy card, it stands up nicely. And it folds flat to fit in an envelope for a 5x7 card. So yeah, so that is the card for today. So let's get into it. Okay, so for this card you're going to need 3 pieces of base card that are 5x7. One of them you're going to put to one side because you don't need to score that. And then the other 2 pieces we need to do a couple of score lines on. Okay, so on both of them you're going to score along the long edge at 1 inch. And then if you just make a mark at 2 inches, okay, just make a little notch at the top, just at 2 inches. Don't do any actually scoring, but just make a little mark. And then on the second piece, again, do the same again. So 1 inch all the way down, and then just make a little mark at 2 inches. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to flip this over. So my little 2 inch mark is still at the top, but my tab is on the left. Okay, and then from that 2 inch mark down to the bottom right hand corner we're going to score a line, and then hopefully when we fold along that line, what should happen is that should fold directly in line with the base of your card. So what I would do is don't exactly follow that line. What you want to do is you just want to kind of fold it, use that line to help you fold it. And then just make sure you line up that bottom edge. So line this edge up with the bottom edge like that. So you've got a nice, like basically a square that's folded in half. Okay. And then you want to take your other piece. And again, I'm just going to flip it over. So the mark is at the top, left-hand corner. And then I've obviously got my 1 inch tab here. And we're going to do the same again. So we're going to score from that mark down to the bottom right-hand corner. And then again, I'm going to fold it along. I'm just going to use that score line to help me, but I'm going to correct it because mine's slightly out, because it's most important that you line this edge up. It's more important than you actually fold along that line. So you should end up with that. So you should end up with 2 pieces that look like that. So if you bring in your main piece, your 5x7 that you didn't do anything with, and on this, before we do anything else, we're going to stick down a matte layer that is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and on top of that you're going to have a white piece that is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick this down. Okay, so you should end up with that. So if you bring in one of your pieces, now what you want to do is you want to fold this so that it's a mountain fold. Just fold that round like that. Give it a good burnish, and then we're going to put some glue or tape on that, and then we're going to stick it behind this piece here. So I'm actually going to use wet glue for this, just so that I can got a bit of wiggle room to get it in the right place. So put a bit of glue on that side of the tab. Now we have gone for a 1 inch, not a 1/2 inch tab, just because I think it looks a little bit neater on the other side, and if you wanted to, you could always put something on the other side to cover it up. So we're going to stick that on there. Just make sure you fold it round when you stick it. Don't just stick it flat, because you want to make sure that it fits nicely onto there like that. Then bring your other one in, and this time you're going to turn it around. Okay, so your triangle is now facing the other way, and again you're going to fold that to be a mountain fold like that. Give it a good burnish, And then we're going to stick that down on the other side. So again, I'm going to use some wet glue just on the inside of that tab and go ahead and stick that to the back of the card. Okay, so you should end up with that. So now we just need to add some mat pieces. So for these side pieces here, you need 2 pieces of mat that are 3/4 by 4 3/4, and they're going to go on there like that. If you want to add pattern on top of that, you'll need 2 pieces that are 3/8 by about 4 5/8. I'm actually going to use ribbon on mine because I decided that the pattern was going to be so thin. I may just go ahead and use ribbon. So I've got this gold ribbon, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the top like that, down the side and over the edge. So I'm just going to go ahead now and stick this ribbon onto this pattern paper, onto this matte layer. Okay, so you should end up with that hopefully. So now we just need to put something on here, and also you can on here as well. So what you want is you're going to need 2 pieces of mat that are 4.5 by 4.5. And what we want to do is we are going to cut them in half diagonally. But what you want to do first is make sure you put some tape or something on the back. If you're wet gluing, it's not so much of a problem, but if you're taping like I am, then that's definitely something to do. So we're going to go ahead now and just cut these in half diagonally. And you're also going to need 2 pieces of pattern paper. I've gone for different patterns because one's going to be on the front, one's going to be behind. And these are 4 by 4. And again, you want to cut them in half. Just make sure you cut them from the top left to the bottom right. Okay, so you should end up with that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and stick these patterns onto these mats. Okay, so you should end up hopefully with 2 squares that look like that. So if you bring in your card again, these 2 squares here are going to go at the back there, and then these 2 are going to go on the front here like that. Okay, so you should end up with that. So you put your little, obviously if you want to put something on the inside you can, but I'm not going to because it's getting quite chunky because I've got quite chunky layers. Obviously I can see through to the other side, but that doesn't really bother me, to be honest. I'll probably put just a little greeting at the top, or maybe at the bottom here actually. Put a little greeting, a little Merry Christmas greeting. I don't want to go too much with it, but you can put something down the side, and then obviously you have yourself a Merry Christmas. And it stands up quite nicely. As long as you use sturdy card, it won't fall forwards. If you use really flimsy card, it could fall forward. But yeah, it's quite nice, and obviously it folds flat to fit in an envelope for a 5 by 7 card. So that's the card for today. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, it is a nice card, and I originally saw this on Lisa Curcio on her YouTube channel. So I think her measurements were different. I had to make my own measurements, but that was the basic of it. But yeah, I think it's quite a nice little card. So yeah, please like, subscribe, go and check out my Etsy page, my Etsy shop, and check out these Christmas papers, the Wise Men pack. And I will see you again next time. Bye.